I've made records with a lot of people. Probably the most famous would be as a creative tool, like for someone to use a sample of an existing piece of music. I think it's extraordinarily lazy artistic choice. It's much easier to take something that is already awesome and play it again with your name on it. It's sort of like a bad dance move or something like that. You think the people doing it should be embarrassed for behaving this way, and that what they're doing is cheap and easy, and everyone else can tell that it's cheap and easy.
Rock and roll was lazy.
Let me tell you something. What is an instrument? What isn't an instrument? What is music? What is not music? Is an ongoing up and down battle between the ages, between the generations. You just heard that, man. Let me tell you a little story. So I got curious, right? I went and I Googled when was the first dome string instrument invented or played. And it said it was over 4,500 years ago. And it was called the chordophone. The chordophone, okay? That's the name they gave it when they gave it that name. I don't know. Was that the name of it back then? I don't know. So if you do your math, 4,500 years ago was about 2,000 plus years before the birth of Jesus. So that means when Jesus was around, someone was walking around with a chordophone. Then I got curious and I Googled when was the first violin invented. The first violin didn't come up until the mid 1500s. Okay? The mid 1500s. Right? The mid 1500s. So, my thing is, okay, that was about a little less than 500 years ago, right? So, let's say from 2000 BC until 1550, right? They were going around playing chordophones and maybe a couple of other things, but I just specifically put in violin. So that means, by the way things are, the way humans think, that someone was out here playing the chordophone, walking down the street, and ran up on a cat playing a violin and said, "What the f is that? That ain't no real instrument. What are you talking about? Taoists don't know what an instrument is." Right? That's how silly this sampling is real music or not. That's how silly this conversation is. Because most of you, I'm pretty sure, most of my audience, they said is between 24 and 56 or something like that watches Kirk State TV, right? Or when I teach a few things, Kirk State University. You watch Kirk State YouTube channel, right? And I'm pretty sure when you were coming up, especially the older cats out there, right? In your 50s or whatever, late 40s, 50s, even late 50s, yeah. I'm pretty sure when hip hop was busting around late 70s in New York and then early 80s in the rest of the country, right? I'm pretty sure that you all heard your uncle or your dad or someone say, "That ain't no real music. Ain't nobody singing in there. Ain't nobody playing instruments. What are they doing?" Right? They just had a drum beat. LL Cool J, I need a beat in 85 or something, right? That ain't real music. Because me, personally, that's the argument that my uncle gave me. He told me that rap was trash and it was horrible. And then I had another cousin that told me, hey, rap is going to die because there's only so much you can do with a drum beat. A drum machine, he said. Yes, he said that out of his own mouth. This is why this whole argument about what is music, what is not, is pointless and useless, right? So now you have different styles of rap. And what do we hear? Man, trap is trash. Somebody want to hear that melodic crap with them deep basses? What are you talking about? You the same guy that love Mantronics with the deep bass. bass line, deep basses. You know what I'm saying? So this is just an ongoing situation where people will get their heads all bundled up, you know what I'm saying, and all crunched up, get upset about what is music and what is not. The people that are saying that next generation is trash, they're the ones who had the problem, right? And then the younger generation that say, oh, that old trash, they're the one that also had the problem. But the people that know how music progresses, they get just about all of it, right? They get the old James Brown, the people that hated James Brown that loved bebop. Then you got the people that hated bebop before that that liked some of the old blues stuff or whatever, right? It goes on and on and on and on, right? See what I'm saying? So I would not get too upset because this video was very triggering. I'm not gonna lie. And I said, man, I got to talk about this because the comments, I put this up on, I think Facebook or TikTok or something, and people were going crazy. Right? Who the F is this guy? I wish I knew who he was so I could sample all his stuff and put it out. Someone said that in the comments. You know what I'm saying? But yo, this your man Kirk State. If someone comes at you and you're a real music lover, you're going to accept just about any genre, even if you don't listen to it, right? Like, I don't listen to a lot of stuff. I mean, let me clarify that. I listen to a lot of different genres, that is. But certain styles, I just don't listen to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know this is an unpopular opinion, but Kirk State does not listen to R&B when he's by himself or with his boys, any of that. Okay, if wifey want to hear R&B, that's fine. Back in the day, if your girlfriend want to hear it, that's fine. When they got out the car, I was cutting on that Mobb Deep. When they got out the car, I was cutting on Protect Your Neck. When they got out the car, I was cutting on I Need a Beat. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, do not get upset. Let them talk, man. The remedy for this is just let them talk and be like, you ain't no real music lover. Because if you was, you wouldn't say any of that. You know what I'm saying? You should love innovation. Like I'm saying, the person that probably was going around with the quarter phone for 200 years, well, I'm not a person, but an individual, let's say he was 50 years old in 1550, right? And he seen a violin and he called it a piece of junk or trash. You see what I'm saying? That's how silly this is. Now look at the violin. It's a treasure, right? You can equate this to the whole electric vehicle thing, right? We can use that as an example. You got people now talking about, oh, they'll never get rid of gasoline. But guess what? In 1903, there was a guy that sold horses that said they would never get rid of horses because they don't have nowhere for the cars to drive. There's no roads for these cars to drive. They need roads, I heard, for these cars to drive on. Now look at it. You see what I'm saying? All right, so you get where I'm going with this. It's 120 years later. Look, roads everywhere. You know what I'm saying? If they could build a road from Boston to London, they would do it. Okay? But Joe, do not get upset with these people that don't understand. You just let them talk, shake your head. All right, player. And go ahead and make your music how you want to make your music. If you sample whatever. I remember watching the Art of Noise stuff where they was walking around with a tape recorder in the junkyard banging on stuff, right? To make beatbox and all that other crap. You know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't gonna call it crap because when I heard beatbox, it changed my life. You know what I'm saying? But, yo, you gotta let that one roll off the sleeve. Don't get yourself upset because it's not worth getting upset with people that just don't understand or just don't get it. Right? Okay. Lesson learned. It's your man, Kirk State.